All right, guys, for today's lesson, you're going to need this sheet. This is adding and subtracting radicals. So we've previously learned about simplifying radicals, and today we're going to take that concept and we are going to add them together or subtract them. So starting off today, what I need to do is look at each individual radical. And when I say radical, I mean like this piece that's underneath the square root symbol, and ask myself, can it be simplified? Can you break it down any further? So this is pronounced, 2 times the square root of 5. And 2 times the square root of 5, well, the square root of 5 isn't going to break down any further than that. So this piece just comes down. Okay, now the square root of 27, this does break down. I know that 27 is 9 times 3. I also know that 9 breaks down to 3 times 3. So technically, it's 2 times the square root of 3 times 3 times 3. Because I have this 3, this 3, this 3. Okay, square roots, remember we look for our pairs. And when I see my pair, I bring out one of those. And I already had this 2 out front, so whatever you bring outside is multiplied together. Okay, so 2 times 3 gives me 6. And then I piece it back together with that 1 square root 3 that's left. I'll drop this 2 root 5 even further to put it in line with the one that we have just done. So there's a minus there. Okay, in the back, we have square root of 12. Well, this is going to break down. I know that's 2 times 2 for my 4 times 3. All those are prime factors, so it's not going to go any further than that. So when I piece it back together, you got your 2 outside, and then you had 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so I have a pair of 2's, so out comes one of them, and it's going to multiply with this 2 here. So 2 times 2 is 4, and then you just got this 1 3 that's left over. Okay, and then that was a plus. Now, when I add these together, 2 square root 5, let's pretend that's like saying something like 2x, minus 6 square root 3, well, let's pretend that's like minus 6y. And then plus 4 square root 3, well, if this was a y, then this also has to be a y. So that it'd be something like this. And we know we can only combine like terms. So these two y's would come together. That would give you 2x minus 2y. Well, the same situation happens here where you can only combine pieces that have the same radicand. Radicand means just this piece here. And so we got square root 3 in common. So this 2 root 5, there's no common terms with that, no like terms, so that just comes down. And that minus 6 root 3 plus 4 root 3, well, I know my answer is going to be a root 3, just like it was a y here. And minus 6 plus 4 is minus 2. So this is our final answer. Honestly, it doesn't matter how you write it. You could flip it around. You could say negative 2 root 3 plus 2 root 5 as well. Either way is perfectly acceptable. Okay, number 2. Starting off, I see this 12 needs to be broken down, and I know from this last one, 12 is going to break down to 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so I got 3, the 2 times 2 times 3. So out comes 1, 2, multiplies with that 3. 3 times 2 is 6, so breaks down to 6 root 3. Okay, square root of 8. Well, that's going to be 2 times 2 times 2. So that's going to be a 2 out front, and then you had those 3 2's underneath being multiplied. So 1 comes out, multiplies with this 2 out front here, which gives you 4. That was a positive, and then you got 1 2 that's left underneath. And then in the back there, you can't simplify that any further, so you just bring that down 3 root 2. Okay, look at this first term, root 3. That's the only root 3 I have, so I just get an answer of 6 root 3. And in the back here, we have a couple root 2's, so these two will combine with each other to give you 7 root 2. Okay, number 3. So 18. Let's think about that one. So that was 6 times 3, or you can do 9 times 2, doesn't matter. And then this 6 is, 2 times 3. So I get a 2 root 2 times 3 times 3. Okay, so 1 3 comes out. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I have just that root 2 left. Over here, this root 6, that's just 2 times 3. So you can't have any common factors there, because only 1 2 and 1 3. So it just comes down 3 root 6. And the same thing with this one, minus 2 root 6. Okay, so this root 2, there's none others that match up, so that just goes there. And then 3 root 6 minus 2 root 6 is 1 root 6. So you could say, plus 1 root 6. You probably won't see it written that way. They'll probably just say 6 root 2 plus root 6. That's the same thing. Okay, number 4. 2 root 5. Well, that one, we'll just bring that one down further. Doesn't simplify. Root 8 does. 2 times 2 times 2. So that gives you a root. 3 2's underneath. Just 1 comes out. There's nothing out front there. Technically a 1. So 2 times 1 is just 2. So we get minus 2 root 2. And then in the back here, that's already simplified. Another minus 2 root 2. Okay, 2 root 5. That's my only root 5. And then these two are like terms. So that's going to be a root 2. Negative 2, negative 2. That gives you negative 4 root 2. All right, a couple more. 27. We know from before, that's 3 times 3 times 3. So I had the negative 2 out front. 3 3's. Circle 1 pair. Out comes 1. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So negative 6 root 3. And this one's already simplified, so that just drops down. Minus 2 root 3. This drops down. Plus 2 root 5. Okay, so I see 3's here. I do have a couple root 3's. So negative 6, negative 2, that's negative 8 root 3. And then that plus 2 root 5, which has no matches in the back. All right, one more. Negative 3 root 6. We know from past experience root 6's are not going to break down. So I'll just bring that one down. Minus 3 root 6. 24, that one is going to break down. So we got 6 and 4. 6 breaks down. 2 and 3. 4 breaks down. 2 and 2. And those are all prime factors. So when I put it back together, I like to go with my smallest ones first. 2 times 2 times 2, and then my times 3. So I see I have a pair of 2's. So out is going to come one of those 2. So negative 2, and then since these don't have matches, these get multiplied back together. So that's where that 6 comes from. Okay, in the back, negative root 27. Well, we know that that's 3 times 3 times 3. Pair of 3's, out comes one of them. So that was a negative out front, so that's minus 3 root 3. Okay, look for my like terms. These two are like terms because they both are root 6's. So that comes together, gives you negative 5 root 6. And then we have this minus 3 root 3 that has no match in the end. All right, you guys go ahead now and do number 7. Number 8. Number 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. And last, 16.